Hello, Disney fans. On June 16th, the world lost an incredibly talented young woman, best known to Disney fans as the voice of Lilo, Daveigh. Now, normally, I don't follow the personal lives of actors or actresses that closely, and after hearing about her loss, I was very saddened to see all that she'd gone through in her life. She struggled with a lot of personal issues for a long time, and in the GoFundMe that her boyfriend created for her when she was hospitalized at the end, he said that she had suffered from systemic bullying, a very painful estrangement from her family, and even occasionally homelessness as a result of the very severe housing market right now. And this is someone who deserved so much better. She started acting at a very young age in local competitions at the age of 3, local talent shows, different productions that were put on by communities. But it was after her mom was hospitalized in Los Angeles, had to stay in that area, couldn't drive for a long time after an accident, that her career actually started to really take off. Her first television role, fascinatingly enough, was as a guest appearance on Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a little girl who Sabrina kinda inadvertently traumatized.
Hey, little girl, want to sit on my lap? You can tell me all the presents you want. Come on, sit on my lap. Come on, how can it hurt? Sit on my lap. I said, sit on my freaking lap.
You can't help laughing at her reaction there. She had an incredible emotional range. A lot of people have pointed out about her, those who have worked with her. And of course, as I said, it's her role as Lilo that she's best known for. And if you listen to her voice acting in this performance, you can easily imagine having a real conversation with a kid who's just like this. If you know little kids at all, you're like, yes. Of course, she was a little kid at the time that she acted this, but just the way she sounds so genuine is really impressive.
And today we were out of peanut butter. So I asked my sister what to give him, and she said a tuna sandwich. I can't give Budge tuna. Do you know what tuna is?
Fish?
It's fish! If I gave Budge tuna, I'd be an abomination!
Of course, it was in her role as Lilo that Daveigh gave the world one of its most iconic Disney quotes. Even if you, for some reason, never.
Ohana means family. Family means
Nobody gets left behind
or
or forgotten.
Daveigh won an Annie Award for her performance as Lilo. That's an award for outstanding voice acting, and she also won a Young Artist Award for that role. She would come back to that role several more times. She voiced Lilo again in Stitch the movie. This was actually more of a pilot for Lilo and Stitch the series. And again, she brought that quirkiness to the role where she could make you both feel deeply and laugh at the same time, just showing how talented she was. I love this particular scene from that movie where you could see both she's trying to comfort Stitch and yet she's hilarious while doing it.
wasn't that bad. After you left, I got to help put out the fire.
Oh, no cousins.
You're a part of our Ohana now. But getting everybody else to like you is harder. Trust me. I know.
I'm freaky.
You're different. You're one of a kind. Like Frankenstein.
Oh.
Now there is another Lilo and Stitch movie, but the baby was not able to appear to voice Lilo for that movie because he had to film Lilo and Stitch the series. So for Lilo and Stitch 2 Stitch Has a Glitch, she passed the role on to her best friend Dakota Fanning. But I think she got a lot of enjoyment out of doing the series. And in one episode in particular, you get to hear her sing. And she was a very talented singer as well as an actress.
Just sing this. Aloha, oi. Aloha, oi. Ike ona ona noho ikalipo.
Daveigh would voice Lilo one more time in Leroy and Stitch, which pretty much served as the grand finale to the series. Now, if you haven't seen the series, the idea behind it is Stitch's experiment 626. The other 625 need to find their place, and Lilo and Stitch help all the other experiments to do that. So the movie ends with everybody having found their one true place, and Lilo takes a photo of all of them as one big ohana to celebrate that they've accomplished this task. And basically, like I said, that's the grand finale of Lilo and Stitch, the series.
The whole ohana. Everybody say aloha.
Besides playing Lilo, Daveigh made many, many guest appearances in various shows, and she did have a couple of amazing leading roles besides this. The two most famous being Samara in The Ring. If you're a horror movie fan, I'm sure you've seen that. And she also played Chihiro in the English adaptation of Spirited Away. And those who worked with her on that remember her very fondly.
So, you were the one who carried me back into shallow water. You saved me.
Daveigh Chase plays Chihiro. Daveigh is probably best known for her role as Lilo in Lilo and Stitch. And Daveigh is a wonderful natural actress. One of the wonderful things about Daveigh is that she works from instinct.
I'm not a germ, I'm a human. Now would you please let go of me?
And she is incredible. There's so much heart and personality that Daveigh brings to the character.
Anytime someone passes away, it's always sad, and it's especially tragic when someone lived such a hard life and passed away at such a young age. She was only 35. But, and I know this is a stereotype, this is a cliche that's said so often when someone who's lived their life in the spotlight passes away, but it's true that part of her is always going to live on. And every time someone sees your work, they can appreciate all the talent that she put into her roles. I hope that, we always hope that when somebody passes, that they have something better on the other side. And after the life she had, I absolutely hope that something better is waiting for her. So, watching Lilo and Stitch is going to be a lot different now, thinking of the way things turned out for her. But the movies she made and the performances, the heart she put into them are always going to be magic. And until next time, remember the magic.